If you are ever worried about the safety of your home, you need to hear about SimpliSafe's Early Access Black Friday sale. SimpliSafe is a home security system that stops crimes before they happen. AI-powered cameras detect threats while they are still outside your home and alert real security agents. These agents take action while the intruder is still outside, confronting the intruder, letting them know they're being watched on camera, and that the police are on their way, and even sounding a loud siren and triggering a spotlight if needed. This is how you stop crime before it starts. SimpliSafe has been named Best Home Security System by U.S. News & World Report for 5 years running. There are no long-term contracts or hidden fees, and you can cancel at any time. And there's a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it and see the difference for yourself. Don't miss out on SimpliSafe's biggest sale of the year, 60% off. Right now, Disturbed listeners can save 60% off on a SimpliSafe home security system at simplisafe.com/disturbed. That's simplisafe.com/disturbed. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. It's that time of year again. Everyone knows that the holidays can become overwhelming quickly, so the sooner that you get things done, the better. For both shoppers and businesses, the best time to score great deals during the holidays is Black Friday and Cyber Monday weekend. And that's why you need Shopify. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names like Allbirds and Cowboy e-bikes to entrepreneurs who will be participating in their very first Black Friday or Cyber Monday this year. Shopify has everything you need to succeed from start to finish. First, Shopify's marketing tools help push your brand to the forefront of the chaos, no matter what platform your customers are on. Then, Shopify helps draw customers in with the ease of a convenient checkout with Shop Pay, Shopify's expedited checkout that saves customers information and reduces hassle. The best part? Shop Pay has been proven to boost conversions, meaning you see less abandoned carts and more profits. You can also stress less knowing that Shopify's award-winning customer support team is on standby 24/7 to help with any issues that arise, allowing you to get back to business as fast as possible. This Black Friday, join thousands of new entrepreneurs hearing for the first time with Shopify. Sign up for your free trial today at shopify.com/income. That's shopify.com/income. Go to shopify.com/income and make this Black Friday one to remember.
The names looked familiar at first. That wouldn't have made any sense, since Jenny had no reason to keep a notebook like that. But the more I flipped through, the clearer it became.
I picked up my pace. Suddenly, a clicking noise started coming from the first guy like he was calling a dog. The third guy across the street was looking right at me, walking faster now.
From Killer Podcasts. True tales of horror, bizarre happenings, unexplainable events. This is Disturbed. Hello, and welcome back to the show. This week, we have 3 stories that will alarm and unnerve. So sit back, listen closely, and dive into the horror. In our first story, a woman gets robbed on a first date, and she has a weird feeling it was planned. Narrated by Cassie Sikes, from Reddit user Glitter Door Says 21.
I moved to East Los Angeles the summer after high school. Our new house was previously owned by my uncle, so I was familiar with the area. It was a nice, quiet neighborhood. Back then, everyone had an opinion about East LA. People loved to describe it as dangerous, even though most of them had never been there. I grew up visiting my cousins in that same area, and it was never as dramatic as people made it sound. These places are not scary to me. They are just neighborhoods where people live. At the time, I was living with my parents to save money while I figured out what I wanted next. I was getting ready to start community college and apply to a medical assistant program. I met Michael at my cousin's house party that summer. He had tattoos and looked edgy. When he asked me out, I said yes. I was flattered and curious about what he would be like. He told me he knew a place with the best guava nectar in town and that we could go to a drive-in movie afterward. I actually laughed. I like guava nectar, but I had never heard anyone hype it up like that. But like I said, I was curious and I agreed. He parked at the drive-in first. He said we could leave the car there, walk to the restaurant, and come back for the movie. We even asked the employees if it was okay. They said yes, as long as we paid a small fee, which he did. Something about that place felt strange. The restaurant was about a 20-minute walk away, and the movie started at 9 p.m. It was close to 8. I asked him if it was smart to walk by ourselves so late. He smiled. "Why are you afraid? I thought you said you were used to something through here." He said it like a challenge, using my own words against me to keep me from saying no. It was dark and very few people around, but I went along with it. As we got closer to the restaurant, he stopped a few times to show me videos on his phone. Silly clips that he thought were funny. I was uneasy about the walk. It felt like Michael wanted it to last longer than it should have. Something was off. Looking back, I think Michael was stalling. Then a car pulled up beside us. A masked man got out and walked in our direction. For a second, I thought it might be a prank, like for a YouTube video. Then I heard his voice. "I need your phone and wallet." I remember thinking he sounded young, maybe high school age. He also sounded nervous and out of breath. It didn't seem like he had done this before. I was frozen in shock, and I think he didn't know what to do. "Hurry up, man," yelled the driver. He snapped out of it. "I am hurrying, bro. She's right here." He kept looking at Michael. Michael looked back. I couldn't see their faces, but something in that moment told me they knew each other. He took my wallet and phone, then ran back to the car, and they drove away. Michael stood still. He did not help. But to be fair, I don't know what he could have done. You never know what someone with a gun might do if you make the wrong move. I tried to make sense of what had just happened, telling Michael we should go to the police. He kept insisting we should still get guava nectar so I could calm down. I had just been robbed, and he was offering me juice. I had no phone and no way to call anyone, and somehow we were still walking to get guava nectar. We got it and then walked back. When we finally got to the car, I told him again that I wanted to go to the police. This time, I said that if he refused, I would ask someone else in the parking lot to call. He finally said okay. At the station, we gave our statements and it got even stranger. I said the car was gray because I knew what I saw. Michael said it was white. I said there had been a driver who yelled, "Hurry up, man." Michael said there was no driver, that it was the same person who got back into the driver's seat of the car and drove himself off. He kept adding little changes. The officers were polite, but I could feel their patience thinning. When they realized we were giving them two different stories, one of them sighed. She said she couldn't really investigate if two people who were both there couldn't agree on what happened. That was that, and Michael drove me home. When my parents found out what had happened, they were furious. My mom told me never to talk to Michael again. She didn't need to tell me twice. Thankfully, not much was taken. My wallet was easy to replace, and I needed a new phone anyway. I have lived in East LA ever since that summer. 8 years later, I have never had another bad experience here. The more I think about that night, the more I am convinced that Michael planned it. I can still remember how he stalled to give them more time to come and mug me. I can still remember how calm he stayed through all of it. I can still remember how he tried to give the police completely different information from what had really happened. No way that was all an accident. Since then, I've seen Michael a few times at different things. He always wants to make small talk and invite me to things. I keep my guard up and do my best to avoid him.
Welcome back to the show. Next, something deeply strange is revealed about a coworker. Narrated by Dawn Falato from Reddit user Alyssa LCSW.
I worked briefly as a psych tech a few years ago. The clinic was a nice place to work because most of the staff were the same age, early in their careers, and friends with each other. I don't think any of us planned to stay there super long. We were just there because we wanted to put it on our resumes. To be honest, I never loved the business model. The best way I can describe it is that it felt like a subscription service. The place wasn't really helping people create individualized plans for how to treat their issues. It just wanted to sign them up for continued care forever. 2 appointments per month, bundle packages. Everyone pretended it was fine. But I'm getting off track. Jenny was one of the nurses there. She was nice, and we got along. One day, Jenny and I left work a little early so we could go to Marshall's and buy holiday decorations. I still had a work call to make, but my manager said I could do it later from home. I didn't have a car back then, so Jenny drove us, and she was going to take me home afterward. We got to the store and picked out our little decorations, and the checkout line was long and was going to take at least a half an hour. I figured that was a good time to make the call I still had to do. I asked Jenny if I could take care of that in her car while she waited in line. She said okay and gave me her keys. I had never made work calls outside of work before, and I completely forgot that I'd need to write notes. I realized that while I was already on the phone, so that put me in an awkward situation. I said something like, "Hold on just a minute, I need to find a pen." I probably shouldn't have, but I opened the box between the driver and passenger seat to see if there was anything I could use to write my notes. She had a little notebook and some pens, so I decided to use them without permission. I thought I'd explain it to her when she got back to the car and it wouldn't be an issue. I opened it and started flipping to find the first blank page. And as I flipped, I saw that each page had a name, an address, and some notes on it. The names looked familiar at first, but I didn't think they were patients. That wouldn't have made any sense, since Jenny had no reason to keep a notebook like that. But the more I flipped through, the clearer it became. Yes, they were all patients from our clinic. Every single one. It had their addresses. Also, a description of the house. It said things like blue house or house with a basketball hoop. My jaw dropped. I still can't think of any reason why someone would have those notes. We didn't do home visits, so there's no reason she'd need addresses, and all the information we did need was kept in our system. I put the notebook back, closed the box, put my phone on speaker, and finished my call using the Notes app on my phone. I waited quietly until Jenny came back. Despite how weird it was, there was never enough evidence of anything for me to go to the police.
Disturbed will return in a moment. In our final story, a woman heads home after a night at the bar, and a few strangers are on her tail. Narrated by Dacey Else from Reddit user SkrilleXBaby101.
I live in a small town in Iowa, and the tap water at my place is so bad, I refuse to drink it. Sometimes, when I need drinking water, I head to the water fountain at a nearby park to fill up water bottles and bring them back to my house. One night, I needed some water and left for the park. On the way, I passed the bar I went to a bunch where all the staff knew me. It was a Friday night and the bar was bumping, so I had to go in. I spent a few hours at the bar until it closed and left to collect the water. Across the street from the bar, there was a group of 3 guys sitting and smoking on a stoop. I recognized them as fellow regulars of the bar, but I never talked to them. All I knew was that they drank beer like it was water. As I passed, one of them called over to me, clearly drunk. "Who are you? Are you new in town?" I didn't think much of it. It's a super small Iowa town, so everyone knows everyone. I told them yes, I was in fact new in town. They started asking personal and leading questions like if I had a partner because they found me attractive. I lied and dodged their questions to get them off my back. As we talked, there was a cat within earshot screaming pretty loud, so I ended the convo and told them I really need to go and get home to my cat. It was dark and pushing 4 a.m. at this point. The streetlights provided some soft orange light, but with no light pollution, I could barely see anything in the park. While I was getting the water, I looked across the street and spotted one of the men. I saw him duck down behind a parked car like he was getting inside, but the car never made any noise or flashed to indicate someone entered. Weird, but whatever. I left the park and suddenly I saw another one of the guys sitting on a new set of stairs, alone. He tried to make conversation again, but I kept walking. A night shift cop I was acquainted with spotted me and pulled up to ask if I was screaming for help and if the men were bothering me. Apparently, several people called in that someone was screaming, so there were cops everywhere. I told him the screaming was just a cat and that I was fine. After all, the men hadn't done anything overtly concerning. The cop carried on and said to call him if I needed anything. I kept walking home, crossing the street and slipping straight into pitch black darkness once I was back into a residential area. Then, I heard a noise behind me. I spun around, but no one was there. In the distance, I could see the first guy standing outside his car again, and the second on that stoop. Finally, my eyes shifted towards the other side of the street, and there he was, the third guy. I picked up my pace. Suddenly, a clicking noise started coming from the first guy like he was calling a dog. The third guy across the street was looking right at me, walking faster now. it finally clicked. I bolted and took a different route, hiding in the dark and waiting for a while before running home. I never saw them again after that, which was pretty weird. I asked the bartenders if they ever did anything like that before, and she said no. I don't know why they never came back to the bar, but I'm just glad I was able to get the heck out of Dodge.
Want more Disturbed? Check out our Patreon for member-exclusive content, early merch access, and other cool perks. I'm your host, Doug Bailey, and this has been Disturbed, a production of Killer Podcasts and part of the Evergreen Network. For more paranormal and true crime shows, visit killerpodcasts.com. Follow our social channels at Disturbed Podcast on Instagram or Disturbed_pod on Twitter. If you enjoyed the show, please consider subscribing and reviewing on your favorite listening platform. Share your own true horror story at disturbedpodcast.com. Music by Epidemic Sound and by Carl Casey at White Bat Audio. Our producer is Declan Roars. Audio engineering by Nathan Corson, Will Pritz, and Sean Rule Hoffman. Executive producer Bridget Coyne. Until next time, stay safe out there.
Beware, extreme passion can lead to shocking consequences.
On Scorned Love Kills, the podcast from ID, find out what happens when lust and obsession turn deadly. In each episode, you'll hear direct audio from the hit TV show and uncover true, unexpected stories about love gone wrong, about relationships that
Become a volatile mix of jealousy and anger.
Listen to Scorned Love Kills on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Is the pressure of your wedding day being perfect from sunrise to sunset weighing on your mind? Planning a wedding can be stressful, but it shouldn't be, and that's why we're here to help. On the Bridechilla podcast, we celebrate love and help you plan your wedding day. We're all about keeping it real and having fun every step of the way. So whether you're just starting to plan or counting down the days, we're here to help you stay cool, calm, and collected. We have expert tips and amazing guests. Let's get this party started and embrace your inner Bridechilla. Listen to Bridechilla wherever you get your podcasts or visit us at thebridechilla.com.